We got it coming, people. Relax. Yeah, start, bitch.
Oh man.
Okay, done.
It's going. Our little technical difficulties here. There we go. Yo, what up? What up? What up, people? What is going down? It's Tuesday night. You know what time it is. It's the No Man Fantasy Sports Podcast. It's your boys, the No Man Family Nation. What's going on, peoples?
Yo.
What's up, everybody? Happy MaaM Tuesday.
What's happening?
Got that shit over. What's up, people?
What up?
Yeah.
Guys are
How you
weak.
doing, buddy?
Hola.
Could potentially be you, but I'm just saying.
Definitely not me, because I'm the Mr. What Up Man. So what up, people? Everyone was doing okay. Sorry we missed you last week, but I went out of town. I deserve it. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm back though, and better than ever. And as always, we got the peanut gallery. You call them whatever you want. I call them the nation. I call them the greatest podcasters on the planet. Start off with the man who accuses me of everything but positive stuff over here. My so-called friend Stino. What's up, Stino?
What's happening?
Jerk.
Stino!
And of course, no matter the weather, the rain, sleet, or we got
Oh man.
What's up, peoples?
What up, Snow?
What's going on?
Man, we just chilling, baby. Hold on. And of course, we got Bo. He's here. Hey, Bo. I gotta be nice. The guy who makes me send him an invite every week, although I really don't like him. But nah, that's my guy. I love that dude, man. Welcome, Bo. How you doing, buddy? This Bo.
Overrated.
Well,
Hey.
just having a good time tonight.
Same feeling about Yamagoseki.
We got the. Wow. I heard there's another podcast out there that hires anybody. So if you want to, I can throw a good word in for you. My man from the sports desk, addicted to goldfish, but not on Tuesday nights because he has something else to do. My man Belly B. What up, Belly?
What up, y'all?
And of course, the guy who hates me the most, but loves me the most as well. The guy, we got a fresh cut. Look how gleaming it is, dude. Look at the ball that look.
It is shiny, boy.
Very aerodynamic. Oh, does Stino have that? Wow. My man, bro. What up, baby?
So first of all, I want to say nice, studious look to Stino. Ready to kick some YouTube ass tonight, man. So I'm ready. Let's go.
Shout out to my man Drew. He's having some loading issues. So early.
Oh wow.
Oh wait, here he comes right now. Shout out to Wes, the greatest co-host in podcast history. He should be on his way here shortly. Jay Curbs, hopefully as well, be joining us. The No Man Nation is of course, as they come in, you know how we do. But shout out to the No Man Nation, the Twitch family, and of course the YouTube family, who in the last 10 days have grown pretty well. We're over. We broke the plateau. We hit the 1,400 mark. We're sitting at 1,403 right now. So welcome to the new members of the No Man Nation. Thank you for your support. I gotta tell you guys, I lit up Atlanta with stickers. So I expected nothing less. Everywhere that I went to the bathroom in Atlanta that was outside of the hotel, you're welcome for the No Man stickers to make your place look a little bit better and a little bit
Allegedly.
More. No, I'm gonna say I did it. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Cool.
But no, so real quick, I as you guys know, I went away for a trip for my son for his baseball tournament. He did well. Loved it. Had a good time. Got to meet a bunch of scouts. Met a scout from the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Angels,
Nice.
A's, the Mariners, um, the Miami Hurricanes, the Washington Huskies. Virginia Tech. There were at one point there was over 300 scouts there, and you knew who they were because they were all walking around with clipboards, stopwatches, and guns. Like they weren't hiding it like the speed guns. They
Oh,
weren't
okay.
hiding it.
Okay. You never know. You in the
Right.
South, man.
Yeah, well,
Well, true,
definitely need clarification. So
but here's the thing: it was over 100 degrees, and if you're out there just to cause problems, you're an idiot. Because you would have, it was disgustingly hot. But they put on a great show. So shout out to Perfect Game. We loved it, had a good time, got back, real tired. So just chilling. Happy to get back to get back to the podcast and get back to a lot of the stuff that we haven't talked about. Oh, Steve will yell at me or anything, but yeah, we didn't talk about the NBA because Stino doesn't know how to reply to a message or start a message about what he wants to talk about, but that's no here nor there. We'll talk about that now in a little bit. We have a lot of topics to go over. We're gonna continue what we did 2 weeks ago. If you don't remember, you're an idiot and you should be watching the show more and paying attention. But for the real ones out there, 2 weeks ago we talked about the way too early top 5 candidates, not in any order, candidates for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Very successful. Great job to the panel. Great job to the chat that kind of helped us out with that. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to talk about the top 5 in our eyes, and again, no order. The guys will present to you their top 5 candidates or breakout stars of the second year. So they were good. They could. So I want to throw this out there. So anyone who's looking at your list or to our chat people out there that want to join and kind of show us what they're talking about. I don't care if the guy had a good year last year. Breakout to me means more than 1 year, right? So I'll use an example. Some guys on my list is Jared Verse, right? Phenomenal season, phenomenal. I think he's going to take it to another level this year. So to me, that's a breakout, right? The almighty Bo disagrees with me. Bo?
No, I don't disagree. But I was asking earlier in the Discord about if it was a layup or not on certain picks because I don't have certain picks on the one that I sent you because of that.
Can I ask you, was the God in the Discord earlier? You asking this to, or are you asking this to the people?
I was just.
I'm
Who
just
was
saying,
it?
it's your list. And fight someone, Bo, if they want to talk about.
Okay, I'm switching my list then. Hold on.
No, it doesn't have to. Don't switch your list completely. I'm just saying, give it a good mixture. Like again, for me, it's yes, that's a layup. Jared versus a layup, right? Because
Right.
he was very good last year. But I think he's going to take his game to another level. What that level is, I don't know. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the recent. Yes, sir.
Well, I just want to say that first of all, the guy may have had a great year last year, but there may be some people that's added to the team that could change to make that player better. So
Right.
in Brian Thomas Jr.'s case, the actual playing or going in practice against a guy like Travis Hunter, I don't think Travis Hunter is going to be a shutdown corner, but it will elevate both players, right? Travis Hunter is going to play better because he's guarding a guy like Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. is going to play well because he's letting this kid know you're still a rookie. So that's going to be a combination of things that you can look at too when you talk about adding a guy to your list.
And then also to your point, bro, and like in Travis with the same 2 guys, if Travis Hunter is playing more wide receiver, then they're gonna fight each other to make themselves even better. So that's a great example of why I would use blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Why would use Brian Thomas Jr. on my list? Because I think the people around him are going to make him step his game up more. But yeah,
I got the same thing on my list.
What did you say?
Like Bro just touched on. One of the people on my list is the same exact reason why they're on there.
Right. So we'll talk about the list. We'll do that. Talk about some of these trades that's been going on. We can talk about how amazing I'm doing in NBA, the WNBA. Bro, you didn't have to send me your list. Thanks for paying attention. I'm only kidding. How I'm dominating in the WNBA right now.
And bro lost
Wait,
again.
nominating?
I mean,
Bro lost again.
I won this week in dominating fashion, I should say.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I am 3-1. So, is there anyone 4-0? Are you 4-0 still?
I'm 3-1. But I lost to a team that is 4-0. So, you know.
Well, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to shout out our sponsors, the real sponsors, by the way. The Comedy Zone in Cherokee and the Comedy Zone in Charlotte as well. And of course, my man, Dr. Trains. You got any plumbing needs in and around the Metro Charlotte area? He got you. But bro, I gotta ask you a question, man. Have you been feeling it? Like just the chomping? Like all these juicy food podcasts are biting our style, and I just like we're not chewing gum. Like, like get your own shit.
Why are you riding mine?
All right. I mean, hey, there's that guy, Drew. What's up, buddy?
What up? Pause.
Or was it?
So here's the thing. So the first I want to say, shout out to Lavishly Tough. Shout out to Tuffy. Shout out to the Lavishly Tough Apparel. Make sure y'all go on Instagram and check it out, man. Got some real good things coming up. Be on point. Be on the lookout for a lot of things that's coming your way from Lavishly Tough. From pillows to t-shirts to sweaters to socks, sneakers, cologne,
You gotta get
drinks if you love it. You know what I mean? So just shout out to Lavishly Tough. That's first. But to answer your question, and I thought that's where you were going. That's why I didn't say nothing, smarty pants. But to answer your question, I just think that a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but give respect to the originator. You know what I mean?
Well. I think it's a combination of a respect level, right? But it's disrespect when you don't speak that into, letting the airwaves know that's what you're doing.
Right.
And for me, I'm looking at it like that's why I said what I said a couple weeks ago to everybody. And it wasn't that I feel like I know how we should do things or how we got to do things. I just felt like we give a lot of people airwaves when we don't step up to the plate and prove what it is that we've already been through. And so to take, shots at people, that's easy to do, right? When you lose in an argument and you want to talk about somebody, that's easy shit. Anybody can do that. But when you talk about sports and when you're talking about what's going on inside of sports in depth, like we do on a weekly basis, 9 o'clock, YouTube and Twitch, you got a long way to go when you talk about stepping up to the plate to us. And we're going to continue to kick ass. So I'm focused on that. And I'm thankful for the opportunity that you gave me to join such a prestigious podcast like No Man. So thank you, buddy.
Well, you're welcome. And of course, shout out to my boy JB at Not Moved, the Not Moved podcast. They're trying to make their name out there and he's doing it big. So we support them as they support us. It's these other bubblegum podcasts that just kind of keep on buying our style. So, hey, Juicy Fruit, get off my ass. I'm just saying.
Hey, yo.
They keep on biting me, Drew. I'm keep on feeling the pinch. Speaking of bites, I got to tell you guys what happened, man.
Yo.
So I'm in the exotic land of Atlanta, Georgia.
Get your means. Get your means.
I got bit by some unidentified insect. And I'm really pissed off that I don't have any superpowers from it. It definitely wasn't a bee. I don't think it was a bee. But he came flying in hot, hit me right above the eye, and I smacked it and he bit me on my arm and had 2 nice little welts for a few days. So shout out to the wildlife out there in Atlanta trying to kill me and stuff, but I survived. You can't bring me down. But then a lot went down while I was gone, and we have a lot to talk about. I'd like to first talk about, since a lot of our main focus is football. Sorry, Stino, don't you hate me for saying that? But I'm sorry. I'm going to use their name. I'm not moved by fucking this latest Steelers move, and sending Minka Fitzpatrick to the Dolphins, and getting back Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. From my perspective, and again, this is my perspective. So I'm not saying I'm right, Bo. I'm not saying I'm wrong. This is my opinion, which I'm allowed to have. If you're forcing somebody like a Jalen Ramsey to change his position so he could be better at being a football player, it takes time. I think Minka Fitzpatrick's a way better safety than Jalen Ramsey is going to be in the next year or two.
It's fair.
Jonnu Smith, I like Jonnu actually. I was a Jonnu Smith fan last year for him, not so much his team because I think they're a bunch of ass clowns down there in Miami. But for him as a player, I followed him most of his career, and he's a good dude. Never really gets in trouble, and plays and decent football. He had it rough with having Tannehill and some of those guys and as his quarterback. And I think he shined last year. He had a really good year last year. Don't know what he's going to do with Grandpa Time, but we'll see. But I personally think if anyone won in that deal, it would be the Miami Dolphins. They got a very good safety out of it. Or the panel, Drew, I'll go to you first because you're waving your eyes back and forth. I feel that you don't agree with me.
I mean, no, I agree. It was a terrible trade for the Steelers. You moved off of a guy, and I forgot who said it. I think he only missed one tackle out of all like attempting like a tackle in the game all year in Minka Fitzpatrick. And granted, everyone wants to say, "Oh, Minka's been injured, Minka this, Minka that." Minka has been a plug at safety when he's on that field. Banged up, playing banged up or injured when he's on the field. Jalen Ramsey was getting, I loosely use the term, exploited at corner last year, these past 2 years. People want to say, oh, he was injured. It's a part of the game, bro. If you suit up, you get out on the field, and you play injured, you have to play to the best of your potential, bro. And if you don't play to the best of that potential, spotlight's on you, buddy. He was getting exploited in zone coverage. He was getting abused in man coverage. So,
hey man, you know, I am the king of technicalities, right? Minka missed 4 tackles last year.
Excuse me, 4 tackles. 4.
Thank
Thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that because that's what a real guy does. You correct me. Now,
Way to
I
go,
was
Belly
off.
B. Well, you're the sports desk, Belly B.
I was off by 3, but even still, I would rather take. I would rather take. And Bo put the numbers up in his live the other day. I would rather take 4 missed tackles than take 60. How many tackles did he have last year? Did Minka have last year?
Minka had hold on just a second. 96.
96. Jalen had what? 20. He had what he had 64?
Find out.
In the games that he played, 67?
Minka 60 tackles.
No, I'm talking total. I'm not talking solo. I'm talking total.
60.
Bo's
He
line
also-
was it
60 total tackles.
He
That was
also in the
Yeah,
past 3
60
years.
total for Jalen.
No,
Past
I'm
3
sorry.
years.
Hey, Drew, was this in his live before he abruptly ended it, or
Oh, he always abruptly ends it. I'm not talking to him about that. He's getting on my nerves with that crap. I'm not messing with you, Stu.
Yeah, but to what you're saying, Drew, and I'm gonna use this as a little snippet. Look at how Minka was as a corner when he first started with Miami, right? When he went to transition to safety. Look how he plays. What's not to say that you could get the same out of Jalen with that with that same defensive style that they run over there, and Mike Tomlin.
But
Jalen has not played. Jalen has not played safety since what? High school?
College. His freshman year in college.
That's a long stretch of time, bro.
and Belly, that was also
long stretch.
years ago, right? You're when Minka was able to play cornerback and then transition to safety when he went to the Steelers, he was still young.
Guys, do you
Jalen is not young anymore, and Jalen is he's fallen off a bit. I'm not saying he's garbage. Please stop it. I the look on both faces, like I can't believe you guys are calling. Like it's not what I think. What we're saying is you. I don't know. I think Minka fits better in Pittsburgh than he does in Miami. I think Jalen. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
this
know.
helps them sign TJ though.
They still well. So we'll get to that in a second. That's a great point, Bo. Yes, Bro. You got your hand raised. I don't like you to be.
The first thing I want to say is that I vividly recall making the call about Jalen Ramsey reviving his career and switching from cornerback to safety and alive with No MaaM as well as some other guys. And there were individuals who wanted to disagree with me from the standpoint of what Bro was just talking about. And I can, if you take it and just look at it and say, is Jalen Ramsey going to play the safety position better than Minka Fitzpatrick? I agree 1,000% with what you're saying. Where I think, and this is strictly because you got to look at the facts of the team that Minka went to. If Minka Fitzpatrick had went to a team like, say, the Buffalo Bills, or if he had went and a team that could use an upgrade at safety, right? Or a team like and a team that's going to be actually, competing for playoffs and potential Super Bowl, right? If he had went to a better team, then I can 1,000% agree with everything you just said. The problem for me is that the Miami Dolphins are not only getting rid of a guy who wanted to go to a team. Let's say we're all wrong about the Miami Dolphins, and the Miami Dolphins are actually good this year. Got the echo.
We got two Burrows here.
Echo. Somebody's echoing.
It's the hairy one down in the basement.
Yeah.
Hello?
You're good.
So let's say the Dolphins are good, right? Who will they potentially be competing for with a playoff spot? The Pittsburgh Steelers. So from that standpoint alone,
Right. I see.
Completely stupid for them to trade this guy inside the AFC. That's first. The second thing is, if you look at what the Pittsburgh Steelers got in return, do I think they could use the wide receiver rather than Jonnu hates Buffalo Bills and it's always fuck him too? Yes, but they did get a guy that Aaron Rodgers can rely on much better than the guy that blocks for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the young. I believe this is third year. What's his name? The kid.
Fryermuth?
No.
Darnell Washington.
Yeah.
Washington.
You're good.
So from that standpoint alone, I just think that if you look at what Pittsburgh got in return, they already got cornerback play. May not be the best of cornerback play, right? May not be top 3, top 5 in the league cornerback play, but they got guys that are ascending to at least be a part of a great defense that we know Pittsburgh always seems to have. So if Doofus face that just left, if he's actually putting in the effort, which we never seen him not be an effort guy. We've always seen him play, whether it be at a high level or at least the effort has always been there. If he's doing that from the safety position, right, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it may not work out to be better than what Minka will be for the rest of his career, but it's still an upgrade from the standpoint of both players, not necessarily the one-on-one. So I just disagree from that standpoint.
Well, we got Jay Curbs in the building. What up, Jay Curbs? Thanks for joining us.
What's up, boys? How you doing? I've actually forgot there's a show today. My bad.
What
That
the
is
hell?
insane.
I got busy, bro. I got
Certainly,
busy.
obviously, you
Fork
But
did.
you did get busy.
Yeah,
You bet you did.
Fork you.
bet you did, buddy.
Yo, I
After
I'm not
I
gonna
did-
lie. I had a fishing pole in the water and I was just chilling, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it's 9 o'clock. Damn.
But see, I had sent out the meeting agenda and everything today, and I know you've been on your phone because you've been distant.
Guess what, sir? I was already fishing when you sent it, so I wasn't even paying attention to my phone.
Set a reminder, put it in your calendar. How about that?
So
Because we haven't been doing this for 2 years. You know, with you 2 years.
yeah, you know, I
And,
don't know what you're talking about.
But Bo, so I'm sorry to interrupt you in your meal, because we're just having a podcast here or something. But you started to bring up another point to that trade, or you can't.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like if you don't do that, I mean, you got to free up cap space to keep your generational defensive player. You need that pressure on that line with TJ. You need some money to sign him or have the money to sign him. I think the bigger jab in the stomach would be losing TJ in all respect. Doing this little bit of a difference of your DB room. I mean, oh well.
Can I,
You get to
can I
keep
ask you a
TJ.
question?
Hmm.
Can I ask you a question?
You just
What's
did.
what was Manika's price tag for this year?
Ooh, that's a good question.
'Cause I know Jalen's. I know how much Jalen's going to cost them this season.
I
What
don't
was
think it
Jalen-
was as I don't think it was as much
No, it wasn't.
as Jalen's. It definitely wasn't because Jalen had an extension which they took on.
Jalen's still he's still going to be on the books for them for 26 million this year. So
Books for Miami still.
no,
Oh,
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh took the salary.
Right.
So, bro,
thank
so-
you, Jeff. That-
So
does
like
that-
I don't think that much money cleared up.
I
So,
don't think they
Bro,
took all of it.
11 million cleared up.
How?
I
That was Minka's.
I don't have the breakdown, but
That
I
was-
was
but-
looking. It was 11 million was cleared up.
But that was only what Minka was getting. They still took the switch in salary of
John,
each
because
player's year.
John's was taking 12, so you just
Just added
you
a
really
million
did,
plus
you
whatever.
just added and they added an additional 1.6
Yeah,
mil.
if you look at it from a financial perspective, they didn't really do shit. Like
No.
they really didn't. They didn't open up any money. Like the money for the one player they put it into two. Like it's and you still haven't signed your all pro.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to me.
And to Brobro's point, right? And going back to what he was talking about that live, when Brobro made that point about Jalen becoming a safety on another team and revitalizing his career towards the tail end, the comment that I made to it was that he has to plug into a team where he becomes that free safety, that guy that's just playing the deep half. It can't just be him by himself, right? Like, if Minka could be dropped down into the box, play that soft zone area to lock everything up against anything in that shallow read right there in the hook to curl zone, right? You could also leave Minka to be the deep guy on the third at the very back end of your defense. I think Jalen's athleticism has dwindled within the past couple of years because of injury. I don't think he can keep up with, being he's not a great hitter. So that you're losing the tackling with him being in the box, right? That's one. Put him on the deep third. I'm sorry, he will over pursue and then have to find a way to backtrack and catch up to that deep guy, which we all know what Jalen does and what Jalen's been doing. If he gets beat, he's not going to continue pursuing to try to slow down. It's a wrap.
So, conserve your energy.
And to that point with Jalen, you're going up against some good wide receivers and some athletic guys in the AFC North.
Also,
It's really just Jamar Chase. Let's be honest.
Not listen, if Zay Flowers, if Likely, if a healthy Andrews beats him up the seam.
What about old boy Jerry Jeudy? If Jerry Judy's healthy,
I think he might.
I don't know. I think Jerry Jeudy popped off last year. But that's just me.
yeah, Jerry Jeudy had a great season last year.
No, he did. He had a great series, but I think if we're saying I think Jalen might, pull the antics and
Okay. Well, I mean that's
Minus that 249 that Jerry Jeudy had against Denver, though. I mean, what did he do?
yeah, over 1,000 yards receiving last year.
Yeah, but after that 249, I
Yeah.
don't think he had a single game where he
You
had
take away that
He had
250, I
he
don't
had
think he's
yeah
at
he had two.
I didn't say I'm putting him in the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying.
No, I know.
Yeah, you know,
I'm just saying, like
I'm just saying
outside of
there's,
that,
there's a lot of potentially explosive athletes that are in the AFC North just alone, and then the rest of I haven't looked at their schedule because I could care less about what they do.
right?
But you know, it could be hard to where Minka. I think Minka does help that team, but I think that team's in a shambles anyway. I think to Brobo's point, they should have the Steelers should have asked for one of their receivers, instead of Jonnu. But that's just me. But we'll see. We got some weeks till training camp starts. There's about 3 more weeks to that, so I expect a lot more things hopefully to happen, to pop off. So we'll get more talking about that as the time gets nearer. Stino,
Yes, ma'am.
where you at?
I'm here.
Let's talk about some of these NBA
in the
trades that got
office.
gone this week.
What's up?
Then we're talking in the trade mode. Before we get into our list that were the main event of the evening,
I feel it.
let's talk about some of these NBA trades or movements per se in the NBA. Because it's weird. There's really been a lot. Is it? And I don't ever recall it being this many this fast, like right after the draft, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's been quite a few years where it's been a decent amount of movement, but it's usually mainly like now. I think it's because they I can't remember how long ago they made this rule, but it's basically where a team has to spend a certain percentage of its salary cap
Okay.
They have to like knock that out within like the first day and a half, 2 days or something like that.
Oh, so it's a rule at the NBA.
Right. So the majority of the money was going to be spent between today and tomorrow and yesterday and shit like that. So
what? So and wasn't there 18 rookies? What was the stat this year? I mean, not 18 freshmen that were drafted, some shit like that.
Oh yeah. It might have been a lot of one and dones.
It was 19 freshmen were drafted.
I mean, that's unprecedented.
Four of them were the only 4 to play together at Mount Verde with Cooper Flag. All those guys were drafted within the top 20 picks.
Yeah, weren't the first 4 picks all freshmen?
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. So we'll go back to the draft here in a second. So Stino, give me your take on the one that happened today, the movement that happened today. We saw Dame Lillard get kicked out of Milwaukee, and Bro and I were joking about it earlier. I think it's a shame. I mean, the guy got hurt right in the playoffs, so he's out all next season.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we're seeing 3 guys. Let's talk about that real quick though. First, I'm sorry. We're going into the 25-26 season with Halliburton not playing potentially, right?
Yep.
Not playing.
Dame not playing.
Yep.
And fucking and your boy and
Tatum
not playing.
Yep.
I mean, does that not give garbage teams like the Orlando Magic a chance, or
I wouldn't say garbage.
Or teams like the Knicks that if I like the move that the Knicks made, we can talk about that in a little bit. Maybe help them take over that number 1 spot.
Yeah, I mean it definitely could.
I wouldn't put Orlando in the garbage category though.
I just do because I hate one of their fans. I'm just
Orlando's kind of their level above trash, bro. They're like the lid.
I'm not gonna lie. I think
they're gonna be fucked up with no Bane there.
They're the sticker on top of the lid.
I think Orlando might actually be pretty competitive this
No,
year.
No, I mean they're trending that way. I
Yeah.
mean,
I think they definitely gonna be like that.
I mean, moving off
They
of
were just added Desmond Bain, were they not?
I still
Yeah.
think they need a big man though. I still think they are lacking a big man. I'm not confident in Wendell Carter. I'm not moved by Mo Wagner and shit like that. So they definitely still need a big man. But I mean, other than that, every other position seems cool, to be honest with you.
So I'll go to Bro, in your opinion, then, right now, up until, I mean, it only happened last week on Wednesday.
Right.
Who do you think what team are you surprised that's making a move that you didn't think that was going to do that? Is there any team out there, I should say?
I mean, there's a couple moves that I think surprised me. I mean, obviously today it was just ridiculous, but and I think Kevin Durant could have been moved, but I didn't think they would give up what they gave up to get Kevin Durant. I think that's what kind of surprised me. I thought they would have put a package together if they were going to move him, but I just didn't. I didn't know that they would go this route because. And what I will say is that by them continually making moves shows that they're serious. And so I can push off from the crap that I was going to give Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets from that standpoint because they're not BSing around, and I don't think they're finished. Another team that I actually like the move. I would have liked to see them do something more. Maybe they're not finished, but I like the Jordan Clarkson move for the Knicks. I think that the New York.
Hold on a second. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Look who is in the building. Cinco Seis.
Oh, Cinco!
You know, I was wondering why.
What's up? What up? What up?
I was wondering why
Big
Wes got
homie.
better looking. Like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But Wes got better looking all of a sudden.
What's up?
Baby? How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
For anyone that doesn't know, this is my man Cinco Seis. I mean, he'll be Cinco Siete this year, but that's another.
Probably.
But no, man, this is original OG the podcast. You know, he had to step away due to some personnel reasons. But always, he's the patriarch of the podcast. I mean, this is the godfather of it all, man. What's going on, Papa?
Man, ain't nothing going on. Just glad to chime in when I could.
Yes, sir. Good to see you, brother.
All right.
All right, bro. I'm sorry for cutting you off, man.
No, man, it's all good, man. Even though he got a Giants hat on, but that's a whole nother topic. But so I think the Clarkson move for the Knicks does put them in position. I just think that the Knicks just ran out of energy last year. I don't necessarily believe that they just were outplayed. I just think that they were just wore down. And so, I mean, they don't have a coach yet. So I do think they need to figure that part out. But if we talking about just what the players look like far as a team right now in the Eastern Conference, the Knicks are at the top of the list. People may not want to admit that part, but they're at the top of the list. And the reason why is because they're the healthiest team. The best teams in the East right now are injured. And so from that standpoint alone, it's not going to get better for the Pacers because their best player is not going to be there. It's not going to get
better. And they just lost Miles Turner.
Right. But it's just not going to get better. Even if he was there, it still wouldn't be better because they would need Halliburton. And then when you look at Boston, it's not going to get better for Boston because they've essentially uploaded the damn team. And so those were the teams that I think could beat the Knicks in a 7-game series. Everybody else, I think the Knicks are at least a 6-game, 7-game finish against. So to me, I think the Knicks are really ahead. They just got to get a coach, though.
Well, I'd agree with that. I would agree with that. Stino.
Yeah.
Your opinion between, again, Wednesday and today, is there a team that you just you're scratching your head, be like, what are they doing?
Yeah, it's still Milwaukee for me. I still don't really quite understand what they're doing because outside of the Dame move, I mean, they also traded away Pat Connaughton as well. So that's like the only player they brought back was Jericho Sims and Gary Trent Jr. And that's about it. Giannis is not happy with the way they got rid of Dame. So I mean, there's still a lot of question marks over there in Milwaukee, man. I know. Give it a shout out to Miles Turner too, man. I know he's leaving Indiana, but I'm not mad at him getting his bag, man. You feel me? He spent 10 years over here, put in a lot of work, did a lot for us, man. I'm not mad that he went over there, got his bag. Nah, could have went to a different team rather than the team that you put out of the playoffs the last 2 years. But I mean, it is what it is. You went and got 26 million. Go ahead, do your thing. I'm not mad. I wouldn't want to pay 26 million personally for someone that's never been an all-star or anything like that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, Milwaukee's the head scratcher. For me, I think the big mover was, like Robro said, Houston. And I wasn't necessarily shocked at what Houston gave up neither, because Drew has heard me say it a few times. I thought Houston was going to be the landing spot for KD for a couple months. And I've also said that I think Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks will be involved in that trade to get Houston, or to get KD over there to Houston. Now, I did think it was going to have to be more players. I was expecting somebody like Cam Whitmore, Tari Eason, and maybe another first round pick on top of the first round pick that they did give away. But I think them being able to keep that younger core of Jabari Smith and re-signing him, you keep Sengun, you keep Tari Eason, you keep Reed Shepard, you keep Cam Whitmore, you re-sign Fred VanVleet to a more team-friendly deal because he declined from making 45, supposed to be making 45 million this upcoming season, and now he's only making like 25 this upcoming season. So free up cap space there to bring in a 3-and-D veteran player like Dorian Finney-Smith to make up for the defense that you are kind of lacking with Kevin Durant leaving and Kevin Durant coming over and Dylan Brooks leaving, because Dylan Brooks was a big piece to that defense. So I think Houston really making themselves a title contender. Right
Yeah,
now.
no, and we'll get to that. We'll get to Houston as well. So, Snow,
Mm-hmm.
your Hornets.
Yeah. Yep.
They're looking like they're making better moves, right? They're making smarter moves to make their team better and more competitive. Do you see them making the leap and contending for a playoff spot this year?
That would depend on health.
Okay.
So I think all the moves now is more so just for depth pieces, because like the main problem is LaMelo, Brandon, and Miles can't stay healthy at the same time. When they are healthy, oh, it's fun to watch. When they're not healthy, you got people from Greensboro playing. So, I mean, I'm at these games like, yep, I saw him at Target yesterday.
Man, I'm glad I paid $5 for these.
Yeah. So I mean, and then with the draft picks, and then picking up on the dude from the Bucks. I forgot his name. Is it Conlon or something? Anyway.
Yeah. Pat Connaughton.
Yeah. He this we're getting shooters and depth pieces, but it depends on health.
All right. Well, I'm going to go around the room, and I have just one question, and then I'm even going to go to Bo, and I know Bo's answer, and that's fine. I'm not disagreeing with anybody. I just want to get your take. I'll start with you, better looking Wes.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Shots fired. Actually, I got a bone to pick with him, by the way.
Fight back, West. Fight back.
Best friend of 52 years. But anyway, Butch, if he does leave, right? And you could put your bias in this or not. Where do you think, and we're gonna go one way the best, and then we'll go the other way the worst, right? So just give me your best. What is Giannis's best fit in your eyes? Okay, how about this, guys? Outside of your own team. I love you both, by the way. Because we all know we're all gonna say, Butch and I are gonna say the Knicks, but Bro's gonna say Chicago, Stina's gonna say. I'm just saying. But where would you say the best fit for Giannis right now, Butch? or even better, who would you like to see him alongside? That's Purvo, would you agree that's a better
Yeah.
way to look at it, right? You know, instead of saying best fit, who would you like to see him alongside going side by side every night? And Bo, you can even keep your answer. I'm happy with that.
Bo, you better thank me for that, bro. That's all I'm saying.
It's on me?
Yes, sir. On you.
Oh boy. I'm thinking. All right, so let's say I'm thinking someone who takes the ball pressure off him. So I'm thinking maybe a point guard or something like that, and let him just clear up garbage.
Bo's head's about to explode, Bush, by the way, because
Pause. Hey, yo.
he thinks he knows what you're going to say. So it's tough, right?
Yeah. If he were,
all right, Bo, you want to say it for him? Say it, Bo. Say it, because you brought.
I think it's Golden State, bro. You even said it yourself. You said a point guard. Playing with Curry it'd be fluid. It would be fluid. That's all. You have your spreading of the floor. You have your shooting that Giannis doesn't have the paint clogged as bad. He won't have to worry about that. It's just so spread out. We are a fast-paced team. It's the Warriors, man. Like I think, anyways, that's my opinion, right?
All right. So right there. So does anyone disagree with Bo?
I don't
Okay, so
disagree,
we
but I
got
have another team.
all right. So we got another team. We don't necessarily disagree. We got Billy, who is disagreeing. Bro, what is your take? Do you agree with that?
I mean, I
Or
can't
is there
stand Bulls.
or is there
No, I just think that Bo needs to calm down. We all know you want him to go there, so I know he can't help blushing and all this shit. But
you can ask Drew. You can ask Drew. You can ask Drew. I don't want him really in all reality for future.
Okay.
You can ask Drew.
Just like you don't want 14 wins for Denver. Got it. Listen, I'm just saying that I know you do. I believe that obviously he's going to fit anywhere. I don't think you can tell me that Giannis doesn't fit with Boston tomorrow morning. That don't make sense to me, right? Because a great player finds a way to make it happen. Especially when you talk about a guy that plays both ends, he'll find his way offensively, and it just about any offense. The problem in Milwaukee has been that there has not been enough players playing to the same effort or level. You know what I mean? So I think if he was to go to a team, like, it's not happening, right? But why can't he fit with the Charlotte Hornets? What? Tell me why. What's so wrong that he doesn't fit with Charlotte?
It's Charlotte.
He could fit with Charlotte too.
He can fit with Charlotte. Come on.
He can fit with Charlotte.
It's too small of a market, and I don't want to be that
He's
type of
coming
market.
from
I'm talking about
Milwaukee.
basketball. I'm not talking about far as outside of the basketball.
Milwaukee's not.
Milwaukee's a bigger market than Charlotte. I'm sorry. No disrespect. No disrespect.
Nah.
Maybe to the beer drinkers.
Bro, I just think you have to have shooters, like especially if you get put in a half court offense, a half court set. I mean, you gotta have some shooters with him. You can't have the paint clogged to where he doesn't have a driving lane or any situation like that. You're taking away from Giannis, trying to make him transition into a different player because he can't shoot. He just now recently got a mid game, like mid shooting, anyways. Like I don't think he could.
We say he just not.
I don't think.
I want to go to Belly B.
I don't think, bro.
Bo is my son.
Belly,
No.
real quick.
Shut the fuck up, bro. No, listen, yeah, you should have heard me 2 days ago. I'm gonna be real.
Shout out to Bo.
Anyway, Bo. Yeah, I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna keep it to myself. All right, Bill.
I don't think you need the shooters around him. I think you need somebody that'll take the pressure off of him in a sense. And to me, the perfect fit for that would be Orlando, pairing him next to Paolo Banchero and them right there. like that takes a lot of the pressure off with Paolo, and that gives him like Bo said, an open lane to drive to the basket, but that also gives him the ability to be that play that pick and pop game, that big man facilitator that he can be with that young talented core.
Okay. Drew, what about you?
So the other team that I think that would fit well for him, not just offensively but defensively, would be the Spurs.
Ooh.
I think allowing him to be the off-ball guy, or even so, just being that rim defender, right? You can switch with him and Wemby being those off-ball wing type of defenders, depending on who they're playing, whatever night. And the offensive side of the ball, we all know Wemby really doesn't play in the paint like that. He does in the pick and roll when he's rim running, right? I think Wemby, Giannis, and Fox, that trio together, throwing a guy like Castle, you throw in a guy. I mean, well, I think Sohan might be a guy who's gone in in a trade. And then a couple of other guys off that bench might be,
Kevin Vassell, dog.
Vassell. I mean, I like Vassell, and if they can find a way to keep Vassell, it'll just work better. But if they give away Vassell, I'm not mad at that. But I think the Spurs dynamically fit Giannis, right? It allows Giannis to have that spacing on the offense. He can play off the elbow in that high ISO type of game. You want to space out the floor and let him take the ball up at the key. He can run right at you, get into that defense. Giannis has shown in the past 2 years that he has improved in his mid-range. He's got it's not the greatest. I'm not saying he's the best mid-range, big, but he showed that he can shoot some at a good clip from the mid-range. And I think that helps that helps gives a balance to his game. So I would say the Spurs.
Great.
Can I ask something on that, Drew, though? Because
Yeah.
whenever you trade for them, though, are we putting in context of who we're trading them for on the package? Because do you think they would keep De'Aaron Fox or have the chance to? Because respectfully, I think they would ask for De'Aaron.
I mean, I think they would ask for De'Aaron, but the counter in that is we'll give you a couple of draft picks.
Couple extra draft picks.
We'll give you a couple of extra draft picks. I think we're talking about the difference. It's the same thing we say in football, right? It's the difference between a restructure and a rebuild.
Right.
Letting Dame Lillard go shows me one thing and one thing only. They went from a restructuring to a rebuild. It's the beginning steps of a rebuild. You sold the farm in a trade for Dame Lillard, and the farm fell apart. Right. You had no defense. You had no shooting. I'm not blaming Dame, but the blood clot issue. Dame didn't start out well when he got traded there. It just didn't pan out well offensively, right? He became a cone on defense because
always kind of a cone.
Right. So now you're bringing in a big like Miles. I think Miles kind of has the similar game with Giannis, right? He's a stretch guy. He can shoot. He shoots at a higher clip than Giannis does. But now you're forcing Giannis to play, or you're forcing Miles to play play off the wing now instead of playing at the elbow, top of the key, high post type of range on the offensive side. So I just think they're looking at rebuild mode, giving away Pat Connaughton like Stino said, and I think who else did they move off of? I was just looking at it.
Or no, they signed Bobby Portis. Just kidding.
Yeah,
They
signed
Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez.
You gave away Brook Lopez, right? Yeah. And that's a big shooting number right there for them. So you're clearing cap space. Of course, you're going to want to take you want to take whatever amount of draft capital in picks that you can. So this way, those books don't hit a hard cap. And then with this second tier thing and what Stino was talking about, you having to spend the money before a certain amount of time, or you get put into this second tier. I forget what it's called, the second tier of cap space.
Oh, the apron.
The apron, yeah. Boston was in the apron. That's why they got rid of Drew Holiday and Porzingis.
Yeah.
And the other guy that they let go to Atlanta, bro.
Cornette.
They
lost Cornette to the Spurs, and they a couple others.
Yeah, to the Spurs. Excuse me, not Atlanta.
Well, first and foremost, every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Twitch, YouTube, the No Man Fantasy Sports Podcast. This is what we do. What up, Wes? Want to welcome you in officially. Good seeing you, Butch. Butch,
Wes, what's happening, bro?
your brother. Can't wait to have you back on the show full time.
Wake up, Mr. West.
But yeah, man. So a lot of good movement, right? A lot of good movement. Again, shout out to my man Lavishly Tough. I think he's in the chat. We're trying to get in the chat. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We got Stitch in the chat. I know that for sure. Shout out to the No Man family, just chilling. But yeah, Stino, a lot to talk about with the NBA coming up. I think in the upcoming weeks we're gonna see more moves, right? And I think that and I've been giving Bo crap about this all day, but in essence, if it's not the Knicks, I'd like to see him go to a team where he has a chance to win multiple championships. I like the kid. I mean, he deserves to be in a good situation or a better situation. I don't know. That's my opinion.
I think a team that could be somehow be a sneaky find a way into the mix type of team would be Philadelphia, to be honest with you. I know it may a little impossible, but I think Philadelphia is reached their running boiling point, if you will, with Joel Embiid. I think they're probably
get rid of Embiid.
I think they're probably ready to move off of him.
Someone's going to take.
I think they got some other pieces on that team and some draft picks that they could possibly pair with in a trade, possibly even adding another team or two into the trade and making it like a mega trade involving a 3 or 4 team deal or something like that. But I think if you put Giannis over there with Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, and maybe Paul George, unless they have to trade him with it too, man, I think that could be nice. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that could be.
Bro got his hand up. What's up, Bro?
Well, and shout out to Belly B because he just said something in the chat, and I was thinking this: the Dallas Mavericks are about healthy. They're a great team, right? What if you take Anthony Davis and trade him for Giannis? And here's how both teams end up winning, because Anthony Davis doesn't want to play the 5, he wants to play the 4. He gets to do that with Milwaukee. He has a guy that will be doing the dirty work in Miles Turner. He also has a center that he can rely on that will play defense as well. They would just have to figure out the particulars as far as the rest of the roster. But you put him in the Eastern Conference where he's not putting up against the better competition when you talk about the West, right? And then in Dallas's mind, they got a player that they don't have to worry about getting injured. You got Kyrie Irving coming back later on in the year. You got Cooper Flag, and oh, by the way, who to be around to learn from not only Kyrie Irving but Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, that would be something I could see.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not, but I mean,
they got the other pieces to add to a trade too if they need to. A guy like Najee Marshall, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, Klay Thompson. They really wanted to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel that. That's a good.
That is a good spot, but I think AD is going to get that. What you're talking about in Milwaukee, I think he's going to get that in Dallas, right? Because Gafford can play the 5. We saw Gafford play the 5 in a small lineup in the playoffs that year that they went to the finals, right?
Mhm.
Lively is a guy like you're not asking Lively. Lively is a poor man's DeAndre Jordan.
Was Lively hurt last year?
He's hurt. Yeah, he was hurt last year. A couple of times. He missed a stretch of time in both halves of the season. But I think like I said, you're not asking Lively to score. His 10, 12 points a night, majority of that are coming off of putbacks and oops off the pick and roll, right? So you can and when did we see AD at his best? 2020 in the bubble, right? He was playing the 4. Who was playing the 5? JaVale McGee, DeAndre Jordan. So I think that he can stay and have that, but leadership wise, if he goes to Milwaukee, that he'll have that leadership factor as well, and being the number one with a guy like Miles Turner there. And I think that two-headed spear. I don't think there's another team in the East that has two guys like that that's going to give you 25 to 30 points a night, almost double digits in rebounds. And damn, bro.
Let me just say this also real quick. That would force teams to guard AD in the paint and leave Miles Turner because they gotta guard AD in the paint. Most power forwards in the league, let alone in the Eastern Conference, can guard him one-on-one. So I'm just saying it from the standpoint of if I don't think that's a conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we're talking hypothetical, where could we see him go? Where it would be impactful and a team wouldn't necessarily feel like they're not getting nothing in return. You get something in return.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a nice move, man.
Yeah. I think teams would be forced to play Miles more than they would be forced to play AD, just because Miles is already out on the perimeter. Like, can you imagine Cat trying to guard AD?
I can't
in the
imagine
paint? And I'm sorry, Mitch, but New York is going to be in a bind if that happens. Yeah, I'd rather see him play defense on the perimeter against Miles Turner.
Go to New York. If I'm being honest.
I mean, who you get? Listen, all right. So, Mitch, you said that. I need to give away 3 players. You need to give away 3 players at least from the Knicks. That's just a fact. Who are you giving up?
Giving up Cat. I'm giving up. I don't know, because I like this guy a lot, but he's such a good defensive player. So I was gonna say Mitchell Robinson, but I don't want to give him up. I mean, we got some kids on the bench that Tibbs wouldn't let you know who they are because he never fucking put them in the game. But I mean, I don't want to give up Mikal Bridges. I don't want to break. Obviously Brunson's not going anywhere.
I think outside of Brunson, if it's Mikal Bridges you keep on, I think that's fair. But in order to get what you want, you got to give up something. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm sorry, Mitch, but just for sake of everything, I'm not moving off a Cat if I'm the Knicks. Cat is off the table as well. For Giannis, Cat is off the table. You give up Mitchell because he's been an injury factor and an issue for you guys for the longest. You give up Bridges, you just have to move off that contract. I don't think you should move off of a guy like OG Anunoby, but if it sweetens the pot, you give up OG. So whatever young guys you can package off of that bench, like get them off the bench.
It ain't about the talent, it's about matching money. So regardless, it would have to be Cat and whatever the financial difference is. Like I said, it ain't about the talent that you're getting back in return nowadays. It's about the money's got to match it. So that's why if you look at some of these salaries, and that's I look at it as some of these players ain't worth what they're getting. But when you see like I don't know if you guys talked about the whole LeBron situation. LeBron can't be traded. For one, he controls where he goes. You got to match the salary just to get him. and he making 52 million. I was like, that's at least 2 players, unless you got a super max player. Like,
Right, like SGA, who's now making 71
right,
million.
you can't trade for SGA. You got to give up 7 players, that make $10 million, or your 3 best players that'll make about 25.
Right.
Like the way this apron stuff works is crippling teams. So I know we playing hypotheticals, but I know if the Knicks were interested in Giannis, Cat is definitely on the table. Cat, Bridges, and some future picks.
Everybody but Jalen Brunson is on.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I get that. Everybody off the table, but I'm just thinking team wise, right?
You want to have a squad.
You're gonna put Giannis in a position where you're gonna put Giannis back into what he's doing now,
right,
in Milwaukee. If you move off of Cat, I just think that, right? You can't do that. Can't, because Giannis wants to be, and Giannis wants to be in a place where he's comfortable, right? And I've heard someone wildly say LA is the spot where he can go.
That's what I was thinking.
I think it's far-fetched. Reason why I think it's far-fetched is because Lakers are only giving up. They're giving up Rui. They're giving up. They're giving up. What's the other kid's name? Connect. They're giving up. I mean, Reeves might be in that package deal. Maybe someone, another guy. They moved off. Finney moved off. He's
gone.
He's gone. So like, I don't like the fit in LA. I don't think it works. Right. I can understand it being a future move, like, next couple of seasons, 2, 3 down the road, you got your 2-headed spear, 80 and I mean, Giannis and Luka in a Lakers jersey. Fine, no problem. But I don't think he wants that type of strain anymore. Like, I think he wants to be in a place where it's a team functioning. Everyone is doing their job, working together to get to that precipice of being in the championship again and possibly winning.
All right. That was like some good NBA talk, fellas.
Yeah. Not bad, man. Not bad.
First NBA talk about
All right. We'll get more into it, obviously, as this whole season progresses and more things happen. We don't want to leave it out. I do want to mention real quickly before we move on to our list. Shout out to the WNBA adding 3 more teams.
Yeah,
Charlotte Love. What's up?
Shout out Kobe, man. Shout out Kobe for pushing it like he was, man. If it wasn't for Kobe and being such a huge advocate for the women's game, these 4 teams, the Golden State Valkyrie.
Now the girls are feisty, into fights and stuff. This is what the WNBA needs, man. We just see someone rip a bra off on. I'm sorry, that was very sexist.
Yeah, you were watching the Attitude Era.
Yeah,
that is insane.
Wow. But I know, I'm sorry, buddy. I look, man, I had a rough week, man. So maybe some of these superpowers that I got from getting bit by this mysterious insect, it's being more of a wise ass. I don't know. Is what it is.
Just get it all off your chest, bro.
But moving on. So we have 2 weeks ago, if you guys were here, we talked about your 5 candidates for your way too early, as Wes put it, way too early defensive player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the lists were great. I think everyone had some good input. There was a lot of parity, right? Which Wes and I, when we talked about it, we thought that was going to happen. But then Jared came up with a phenomenal idea of doing this best, second year player, right? Like who, like, and I don't want to add to it, to what Jared had brought up. I'm sorry, Jay Curbs. I want to give out, his
government.
But with Curbs, I want to add to it by saying, and we talked about this pregame before the show started. Even if the guy who you're gonna say had a good year last year, it's not so much of a layup because you just justify where you think he's going to go this year, the places he didn't go last year. So, with that said, I want to start off with let's go Stino.
Oh,
She's looking at me all cockeyed. I don't know.
okay. All right.
We got
So
5 guys, right? And guys, let him. I know that there's a hey, shout out to my man Road Reese, by the way.
I work for ESPN. I work for Fox. So
Sorry about that. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Shout out to my man Road Reese. He's not here tonight, but we don't have to worry about him yelling at you. But after each one of your picks. So let Stino say his 5 guys, and we'll go from there. All right, Stino, who are your 5 guys that entering year 2 you think are going to make even more of an impact or an impact in year 2?
I got 3 offensive guys and I got 2 defensive guys for you.
Thank you, sir.
3 offensive. I'm gonna start with my offensive first. I got shout out to Bro. I got Keon Coleman, man. I think Keon Coleman's gonna take a leap, another year learning this offense behind Josh Allen, Khalil Shakir, getting comfortable with all those guys over there in that offense. I think he's gonna hit about that 900-yard mark, 8-10 touchdowns, something like that. You know what I mean? I think Trey Benson for the Cardinals, I think he's going to have a big breakout second year too, man. I think last year he was seeing a lot of carries behind James Conner. This year, I think coming in a lot healthier. Another dual threat back, can catch the ball out of the backfield and stuff pretty well too. I think he's going to see an uptick in carries and might even work James Conner and his old self out of the rotation a little bit, to be honest with you. So,
okay.
The third and final guy I have on offense is Michael Penix. Of course, gotta go with a quarterback. Didn't get to see much from him last year in Atlanta, playing behind Trash Cousins, right? But what little bit we did see of him, we seen a little bit of flashes, showing he could be something decent, right? So I got him going for about between 3,300 and 3,600 yards, about 23, 26 touchdowns. He's gonna throw some picks though. I got him about 13, 14 picks. So
okay.
Defensive guys, I got Mikey Sainristil. I think that's how you say his last name. I don't know. I just call him Mikey Saint. Mikey Saint from Washington, man. He didn't have a bad rookie year. He was solid.
Sanderson. That's his name.
He was solid, man. But I think just getting a full off season, getting to learn behind Marshawn Lattimore, getting more comfortable in that defense, man. I just think he's gonna have a bigger season than what he did in year 1. And my last dude to wrap it up, Leatu Latu. It's not to be a homer pick, y'all know I'm not no biased guy, right? But I think he had a decent rookie year as well. On that defensive line. Now he's got Samson Ebukam coming back, who last time he played had 9.5 sacks. Got Kwity Paye still on that line. DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart, add JT Tuamalu from Ohio State onto that line. It's going to be a lot of competition. It's going to be a lot of guys you're going to have to take care of, which is going to free up a lot of one-on-one matchups for Leatu Latu to be able to feast on the quarterback back there. So.
Excellent. Good job. Love it. All right, here are the rules. I'm going to go around to everybody, obviously except Stino. And you are to take, if you were to take one guy off that list, I don't need you to replace him, but one guy you don't believe on that list. Wes.
I will replace Penix with Drake May, but that's what I got on my list. But that's it. I like Penix. I'm not hating on Penix. Hey, I want the Raiders to draft him, so I ain't hating.
That is true. Bro.
Well, I would say Penix because I actually had him on my list, so that's fine.
You had him on your list. Like, no, who would you replace? That's who you replace?
If I was the forcibly take him off my list because Stino read my notes. I probably would say
Cheetah.
No, look, there's
I'm
one guy
talking shit. I'm talking stuff, bro.
I'm saying take off that list. There's one guy off of that list. Who would you take off of? If there's any. Or do you like his list?
I like his list.
Okay.
That's
So
good.
you can take anybody.
Nope.
Bo, would you take anyone off of Stino's list or do you like that list?
I like that list.
Okay. Snow.
I like everything but Penix, so
Okay.
we gotta go.
Well,
Take it.
actually, sorry, the Commanders guy.
Okay.
I forgot you did say him. I was going through it in my head.
Okay. Jake Herbs.
I like his list. I'm just,
Pretty solid.
I love the Leale Latu pick, by the way.
I think that's actually one of my favorite ones, as he said. I mean, if I'm being honest. Belly.
I like the list, but I take Trey off.
Okay. And Drew.
Yeah, I like the list, but I am taking Penix off. I think I just don't know if the flow of the system is going to work right. I don't think the receiving core is enough for him to have targets.
Okay. All right, bro, give us your list.
Well, I'll start with Michael Penix, Stino. Just from the standpoint that he didn't do a lot. He didn't play a whole bunch, and there wasn't a whole bunch there. Then he barely had 800 yards, so he didn't play a lot. He didn't have a bunch of statistics. I think he only had like 5 touchdowns in totality. I think that stuff has to go up when you talk about what they've added, what they went in the draft and did, as well as the team will be a lot better. I don't think they're going to win a division necessarily, but I just think the team will be better. And they weren't that far off from actually winning the division last year, if we're being honest. So I think it'll be a lot more competitive. I don't want to hear the 13, 14 wins for an Atlanta Falcon team. It's not what I'm saying. But I do believe that he'll play a lot better this upcoming season. Next up is Rome Odunze. I think, again, I'm picking people. Let me just say this too. I'm picking people from the standpoint of what I think. So if you don't want to hear your I want to see your eyes squinting at me, making faces like you can't wait to talk to me later on to curse me out. To hell with it. Okay? Rome, to me, he's in a good spot. You got an offensive coordinator who's about to be the head coach, which means that there's just going to be more opportunities for him to be involved even more in this offense. You have a quarterback who's coming off a rookie year who didn't necessarily play as well as he would have liked to have played. However, I don't think that the team in totality allowed him to be his best. And so I think we'll get a better version of him this year. And then when you look at the other weapons that is on this team, I just think they're primed to be a lot better than they were consistency-wise when you talk about Rome Odunze. Next up is on the defensive side. And look, I don't like this team. In fact, I can't stand this team. In fact, I hope they don't win no games this year. But the Seattle Seahawks have a cornerback by the name of Byron Murphy. Okay. Here's the thing. I don't think that he's going to be the best cornerback in the league. I don't think he's going to be a guy that will change the trajectory of how great this defense will be in totality. But I think he could be good enough to get some turnovers. And when you talk about the defenses that we know from the Seattle of the past, they've always been a good defensive team when they're getting turnovers, right? And so looking at the quarterback that's coming in, I don't think he's going to not throw picks. I think he's going to give as many opportunities as he can to turn the ball over. So with that being said, that means the defense is going to be on the field a lot more. I do think they will play better defensively, and I think he could potentially have a pretty decent season this upcoming year.
4.
Excuse me?
Number 4.
Oh, let's say, calm down. Similar to what I've been saying about the offenses is what I feel about Abrams' drain from Denver. If you look at how the defense has upgraded when you talk about bringing in depth in the safety room and then bringing in depth from the linebacker. This defense was already great last year. Now you're talking about a defense potentially being even better. And so the guy on one side is going to not get not enough targets thrown his way because you got a defending defensive MVP. You got a guy who won't have a bunch of balls thrown his way. And so that means that the rest of the cornerback room is going to have a hell of a day when you talk about having opportunities to be intercepted. And so for me, I think he could potentially have a decent year. It's not going to be a lot of room going over there to Mr. Defensive, reigning defensive player of the year. And lastly, Homer, I also do have Keon Coleman. I have Keon Coleman for a few reasons. Keon Coleman last year, going to the Buffalo Bills, he wasn't that what am I saying about his route running and footwork? His footwork wasn't fluid, right? It was more so just based on trying to prove to people that he could do it. That's what it looked like to me, right? When I look at him thus far in training camp, in mini training camp, obviously a big difference in compared to the regular season. But when I look at his footwork, it looks so much more easier for him to move. And there are weapons on the outside when you talk about the kid that we got from Cleveland, Elijah Moore. When you talk about Elijah Moore, who can go from inside or outside, pause that. And when you talk about also the different weapons that the Bills have, this is an opportunity for Keon Coleman to be the guy that they drafted him to be. And so they're also looking to see what they can get from him. When you talk about drafting him in the second round last year, they dropped out of the first round and passed up a guy like Xavier Worthy because Josh Allen chose Keon Coleman. So from that standpoint of being comfortable, having a year under his belt, and then finally being a fluid route runner, especially with his feet, I think this is a year for Keon Coleman.
Who would you, if there's anyone, would you take over anyone off that list?
Who'd you ask?
Wes.
Oh,
I'm sticking with Penix.
Okay.
Penix for Drake May because he's on my list, and I want to talk about Drake May.
Dino, who would you take? Would you take over anyone off the list, or you like the list?
I like the list pretty much. The only one I might take off the list would be Roma Dunze, just because I feel like there's a lot of mouths to feed over there, if you will. You know what I'm saying? You got Cole Kmet, Colson Loveland, DJ Moore, Luther Burden, DeAndre Swift. It's just a lot of mouths to feed and one football to go around. So that's the only reason I would take Rome off.
Right. Bo.
Chris Abrams drain, and you'll understand why here in a second why I have him taken off.
We already know why.
Oh man.
I'm going with Penix.
Okay. Drew.
yeah, I'm sticking with Penix. I'm dropping Buddy like a sack of bricks.
Billy B.
Oh,
Roma Dunze.
You know what? The both of y'all, that's what I'm saying. Both of y'all.
Hey, mine wasn't a hate thing, bro. Mine was just, you feel me? Mine was actually pretty loud.
Nah, both of you.
All right, Curves.
And I just think he's ass. So
I actually like the list. You know, I
It's a good
don't
list.
know with the whole Penix thing. I don't know what he's gonna wind up doing out there. So I do see other quarterbacks that I do think we'll have a better season than he will, but I definitely do think he'll have a better season. And to Bro Rose point, he didn't get a lot of play last year, so you know, if he goes lower, oh, geez, they're in trouble. But we'll see. All right, Drake May's #1 fan, Wes. Let's do
Crazy.
the list.
All right. Well, you guys know me. I kind of misunderstood the assignment. So I did all receivers second year. So we talked about a couple of guys. So I'm not going to throw in Rome.
No, I want to hear your 5 guys.
All right. Here's my list. All right. So I got Rome, Keon, Ladd, Ricky Pearsall, and I put in Malik Neighbors because I got a point I want to bring up with Malik Neighbors. So those are my 5-year receivers who I think are going to do well, but it is way too early.
So what's your point about Malik Neighbors before we move on? Everyone,
because Malik Neighbors has some of the worst target, no shots fired, Giant fan, but the worst freaking targets from Daniel Jones that a receiver that got 150 targets could ever get. And the brother still got about 100 catches. But if he gets that much volume and decent passes that he can catch, Russell Wilson, he will be that much better than what he was last year. That's my point on him.
I think that's
the target quality is going to get better for him, and he's going to do better than. And besides, he's the only thing the Giants got to throw to over there.
All right. So who were the 5 receivers again? You had
it's all the rookies: Keon, Rome, Ladd, and Ricky Pearsall.
Okay, bro, would you take any one of those receivers off of the list?
No.
Okay, Stino.
Yeah, I would take Malik off just because he's already pretty. He's
better. Steve. I think he's gonna do better.
He kind of broke out. You know what I'm saying? But to kind of like play devil's advocate to your point a little bit, it came out of Malik Neighbors' own mouth that we all seen that Daniel Jones was not the problem with him in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do agree there was a lot of shitty quarterback play that went on in New York outside of Daniel Jones. So I agree with what you're saying.
I'm just looking at them targets, Stino. Them targets, some of them were ugly.
A lot of them were ugly, and I think to having a guy like Malik Neighbors up there, to your points, had played very well last year.
Yeah.
Maybe he can take it even steps further this year.
Right. I feel that.
But would you release any one of Wes's wide receivers from his list?
Ricky.
Okay.
Ricky.
Who else is catching passes for the 49ers except for Kittles?
Kittle needs a lot of those. I mean, honestly, we barely got any time to see Ricky. Yeah, and
Stino.
What?
Be careful. Please, come on. No.
But I just think that Kittle's gonna get a lot of those, and I don't see the whole hype in Ricky. I don't.
No. What about you, brother?
No. I'll keep that list.
Drew.
My man.
I'm keeping it.
My man.
He got a couple of my guys up there as well.
No disrespect about McKelly, but fuck the Niners. I'd take Ricky off.
It's just because you don't like the 49ers? I like that. That's not
there's not.
I don't want your personal
Stop
thing.
blazing.
You don't like somebody.
No, so first full year it's going to be in that offense. I don't know how he's going to fit. So
okay, I appreciate that. Curbs.
I would just like to see Donnie Mitchell.
Me too.
And Jalen Polk on there. I think they could have big years this year.
I can only get 5, Curb. I can only get 5.
I know.
I agree with Belly. I mean, the Ricky Pearsall thing, I want to see how a full season. I think he has the potential to be a very good wide receiver in this league. I just don't know if he's ready yet.
Mitch, he didn't get a fair shot last year.
Hey, listen, Jared, please don't give it away. Please don't give it away, because I got Ricky. I got Ricky.
Right, no,
Was that a fair
no
shot?
pun
I
intended.
see what
Right,
you did
right
there.
there. He didn't get a fair shot. Wes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Didn't get a fair shot back.
Right, well,
Ooh.
hey, he may have had to watch what he was doing.
Oh,
Ricky!
Wow. Should have hit the cut, stupid motherfucker.
All right, Bo, give us your list. Your 5.
I got Laiatu Latu, Penix, Bo Nix, Roma Dunze, and Riley Moss. And
Lazy.
so that's kind of what I was going with the Riley Moss situation.
Super.
Chris Abrams' drain is he's not going to get enough reps. He's really probably the fourth option now with that we got Jahdae Barron out of the draft. I think Riley Moss in the beginning of last year kind of showed that what he can do. Towards the end, after his injury, he was getting toasted. I mean, he was getting toasted left and right. Jamar Chase cooked him, which who doesn't Jamar Chase cook, respectfully. And then, so with that being said, Roma Dunze is going to get into. I think he's going to get into a. I guess a better situation with Caleb being able to actually pass the ball a little bit. I think that offensive line is going to give Caleb a little bit more time to get the ball out to Roman in a suitable manner, right? Like he's going to. I don't really know because I didn't research that much on Rome. I watched a little bit, of film here and there on that. So,
Right.
and that's it. And then Bo's kind of self-explanatory.
Because your name's Bo and he's
oh.
Wes. Anyone you take off his list?
Bo Nix. Because I'm a Raider fan.
I mean, that's fair. Bro.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. He pissing me off with all them Denver players. But I'm gonna say I'm gonna leave the list alone, man. I'm gonna give him a shot. I'm gonna see what they look like, man. You know what I mean? He may know something we don't know.
Okay, Stina.
Yeah, Riley Moss. I don't respectfully. I don't understand what you Broncos fans seen in Riley Moss, bro. Like he missed it. Like he came back from injury and played 2 games. He gave up almost 800 yards. He didn't just give up 400 yards a game in those last 2 games, bro. He was getting cooked all year long. You know what? The completion percentage he gave up? 66%, bro. Yeah, I'm throwing to him all day long because respectfully, he was pretty ass, bro.
Wasn't that above league average?
By not just Jamar Chase, but he was getting cooked by everybody.
That was
I'm pretty
above
sure
league average.
everybody on this panel could have went out there and cooked Riley Moss at one point last year, to be honest.
I don't know.
So respectfully, Bo, you my brother. This is not toward you, but all other Broncos fans, please leave Riley Moss on the north side where it grows. Moss grows on the north side for a reason because it's trying to find home. Hey, Riley Moss is ass. Leave him at home where he's at.
No.
I'm gonna go with Bo Nix. Just because I think I have a feeling that we've seen the best of Bo Nix so far. And it's turning to Bo picks.
Agree with that. That's my opinion. But Drew?
Yeah, I'm a double down on what Sino said. Riley Moss is bad, bro. I just think and I'm gonna use Jared's term, he was a project guy, right? He's got to work on a couple of more things, right? He got beat a lot on
everything.
I mean everything, but I think his biggest downfall was recognizing assignment, right? If you don't know who your assignment is, whether it be in man coverage or in zone coverage in the space of where you need to be, everything else goes away. And now you're relying on your instinct to try and, I got to jump the ball. I got to jump this read. I got to do this. I got to do that. And it put him behind a lot. And I just think that's bad for a corner who, people were sold high on coming out of college, bro. This shit was so real high on him.
All right, Billy. What about you?
I don't know who was worse their rookie year, Emmanuel Forbes or Riley Moss, but Riley Moss has got to come off that list, bro. I'm sorry.
Technically, that was Riley Moss's second year last year. Technically,
Okay. And Jake Kurtz, for whatever reason, threw a shot at me about not being able to catch the ball on Riley Moss. But Jake Kurtz, who would you take off the list?
Yeah, just take Timu Cooper DeJean off that list.
Cooper,
Cooper
oh no!
That's crazy.
Oh no!
Pew 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 pew.
I would have taken off Riley Moss as well, Bo, but there was another Bronco I'd probably add instead of him. If I would, in Franklin. I think I like Franklin. I'm a big Franklin fan, so I think he's gonna have a good year.
I had him on the first list.
Troy.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah.
Snow, who's your 5?
All right, I'll try to make this quick. Keon Coleman, Xavier Worthy, Ricky Parasol, Xavier Leggett, and Mason Smith.
Okay.
Let's see. We already talked about Keon Coleman. I basically share the same things as everybody else. Xavier Worthy, I mean, he came into a situation where he had to be the one. So now I think, with somebody else to throw to, and maybe a Kelsey who can move just a little bit. And having a second year, I think he's gonna have a bigger breakout. Ricky Parasol, we talked about that before. He gets a fair shot. Xavier Leggett, he had his surgery on his wrist. And I think drafting T-Mac probably did something. When you were first round like wide receiver, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're the guy," and
then the next year,
pick, hey, bro, that's what's up. Come on. So, we'll see. And then next is Mason Smith. I think the Jaguars defensive tackle has some stuff pulled up, but his first year, let's see, 5 starts, 17 tackles, 10 solo, 3 sacks. Maybe that's the reason why they were like, "You don't need Mason Graham."
no.
So,
All right, Wes, who would you take off his list? What up, Bunny?
I wanted to start with what's the dude in Kansas City? I forgot his name.
Xavier Worthy.
Because Rice is back, and I think Worthy got off a little bit as to what Rice was doing early before Mahomes took him out. But then you put XL on there, and I was like, I can't. They drafted T-Mac. I just think XL, man. I don't know. I'm gonna watch him this year. Let's know. Like I said, I that should motivate him because they don't came back the next year and drafted somebody else in front of you. So, which should mean good things for Bryce. You have 2 6-foot-something receivers that can catch the ball. So, but yeah, like I said, I'll take XL off that list.
If
anything,
bro, who would you take off?
You said who?
Bro.
My bad.
I'll leave it the same, man. I ain't gonna dish nobody's list, man. I ain't dogging nobody's list.
This is someone's list. It's just who would you take off?
I also can say I like the list too, can I?
Yes,
I gotta take somebody off the list.
Oh,
yes,
I never said, but you said it like I'm telling you to diss someone's list.
No. It had nothing to do with you, buddy. The last, sir.
No, I said, would you take someone off the list? Yes or no? Or do
And
you
I said no.
list? No, you said you didn't want to diss anybody by someone taking them off the list. It's not a diss, it's his preference.
He likes the list.
I'm taking nobody off the list, bro.
There you go. Stino.
The last guy you said Mason Smith, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's from Jacksonville?
Yep.
Yeah. Take him off. Get him out of here. Obvious reasons. Fuck the Jaguars.
I was about to say that's some AFC.
Other than that, I love the list. No, love the list.
Bo.
Probably I would have to go with Xavier Leggett, and I had him on my first list, but I kind of took him off. I do think McMillan's gonna ask for a lot of the A lot of the reps, man. I mean, I understand you have him trying to excel and trying to take the spot, but you don't draft McMillan because you believe in the gut.
Right.
Respectfully, like I just don't see it.
Drew.
Yeah, I know who I'm taking off this list. Ain't nobody but Xavier Leggett. Good list, but I'm sorry. I don't believe in a guy who catches with his body. I don't believe in a guy that you know.
He had wrist surgery.
Damn, y'all gotta take the old man play off the play goddamn board. The play deal.
Man, there you go.
Go that little country.
You know what? I'm changing that. He had wrist surgery. I'm taking Xavier Worthy. Psych! I lied. I'm taking Xavier Worthy off this damn list, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not believing that, bro.
Yeah,
Get him-
dollar bill like that.
Get
Dollar
him
bill.
the fuck up out of here, bro. No.
Horses
All right,
above.
I'm taking Leggett off that list. He's still gonna have issues dropping the ball, regardless of him having his surgery on his wrist or not.
Curbs.
Hello, Curbs.
Gone away. I'm taking Worthy off the list.
Take your text message.
Text message.
He texted it to us. Okay.
He's got that farmers only Wi-Fi right now, man.
Wow. I would take Worthy off the list. I just don't. I think he's a boomer bust guy. I love the list though. I think the list is great. I think the list is solid. I would take him off the list. All right, Drew.
Me? Yeah. All right. So in no particular order, I got Marv Jr. I think Marv is going to have a better second season. He bulked up a little bit this year. Numbers last year, he had 66 receptions, 885. He had 14.3 yards per game, per reception, and had 8 tutties. The connection wasn't there between him and Captain Cod. So I think this year they find a way to piece it together.
Okay.
In that second year. And, if they put him in the slot, I just think it just makes it better for him to see that, that 2 read that he goes through, that Kyler goes through. Chop Robinson was my only defensive guy. I don't think Chop got enough. I don't think Chop got enough from the media, nor did he have enough in the reps. 26 tackles total. Yeah, 26 total tackles, and 6 tackles. Six tacks during the season, bro. I just think give him more reps, make him more of a focal point in that defense. It just that number boosts. Very athletic guy. Upside is pretty good for me. Ricky Pearsall. Tired of you guys knocking Ricky, bro. In 11 games, he had 31 receptions, 400 yards, 12.9 yards per reception, and 3 tutties. Like Ricky doesn't go down with the injury, right? And I'll just say injury because of the pew pew, right? And more importantly, I think we don't see Juwan Jennings come to the light that he came to. I think Ricky solidifies himself as the number 2 in that receiving room this year. And then once Ayuk comes back, it's all about Ayuk pushing Juwan out of that number 1 spot. My homer pick is Rome. Rome showed that he could be the number 2 guy. And Stino, I'm glad you said it. A full room with mouths to feed. Everyone said that last year. But you want to know what happened last year? All of those mouths to feed. One of the most consistent guys that was there was Rome. Rome had 57 receptions, 734 yards total, 13.6 yards per reception, and he had 3 touchdowns, bro. I just think Rome second year with DJ, a better offensive line, and that coach being an offensive coordinator scheme will make everything work for every single person to eat in
Okay.
that offense.
You're three.
And last but not least, I only put him on my list because he did not play last year. But this year he's going to be ass. And that's JJ McCarthy. I had to
Why is he on your list? Then?
because his numbers are definitely going to go up.
Right.
Because he didn't play last year. So I have to give I have to give charity away. And it goes to JJ.
I'm going to start off this one. I'm going to say I'd like to take J. I love your list, but JJ McCarthy has to go. Wes, go to you. Man.
Right, I'm agree with that. JJ got to go. That's too easy. That's the low hanging fruit right there.
I had to take the layup, bro.
There's other types of layups. Bro.
Yeah, I keep it the same, man. He ain't played last year, so I mean, from that reason, why I think there's gonna be a lot of pressure on him, man, to perform, and if he don't perform, it's gonna get worse. So
I don't like your attitude, bro. You didn't read nobody else's list but mine.
Put a pin in that because I want to ask you.
I don't. You know, you're gonna wow me up if I don't. You know, so I'm chopping shit away now. So you should have said that. I'm chopping shit up. Next list is getting chopped. Go ahead, brother. I'm listening, brother.
God, the sensitivity, Ralph Treasure.
I'm chopping it. Don't worry. I'm chopping it, brother.
Okay,
I got you.
Stop it. I wanted you to put a pin in that JJ McCarthy thing, the JJ McCarthy thing. I want to go back to that. Remember, Stino. Who would you take anyone off of Drew's list?
No, I'm cool with the list.
Bro,
JJ's got to go, bro.
Snow.
I'll say JJ,
man. You're welcome. You're all welcome. You're all welcome, goddammit.
Belly.
Unanimously, JJ is going.
Yo, listen, I hope you get a goldfish stuck in your nose, bro. And it flies out of your ear when you sneeze.
Why y'all hate on JJ McCarthy so much?
Because he ain't got no arm talent.
It's not about
that part.
I mean, what arm talent did Sam Darnold have? And he was still successful.
A better arm
Yeah,
talent
I
than JJ
rebuttal
McCarthy.
to that. I rebuttal to that.
Did he really though?
Yes.
I mean, Sam Darnold.
Let's
Sam
think
Darnold
about-
did go 4 for 13 for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 picks against Bowling Green.
Right. Sure. Absolutely. Cool. I give you that. But let's look at the situation he's going into, right? Got a arguably top 5 offensive line, right? You're getting Christian Darrisaw back healthy. You shake your head no, like that's a lie, Drew. That's not.
That was last year. Didn't they lose a piece on that offensive line?
Did they? But they also added Ryan Kelly and Will Fries, and Will Fries has been a top 2 right guard in the league the past 2-3 years.
I'll give you Fries.
Ryan Kelly's been a consistent starter in the Colts offensive line, anchoring that offensive line right next to Quentin Nelson for the last 9-10 years, right?
I'll give you that.
You definitely got a lot better offensive line. You got Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones back in the backfield, which are two very solid, capable running backs. And you got arguably the best receiving core in the league.
Let's say this for after the list. Everyone's listening. They want to talk about JJ for a second. When we're done. All right. So Belly, here's your 5. Are they all Jets, by the way?
No. So
Stringer.
my first one is Michael Penix. The first full season, Michael.
Let's stop with you.
I'm going.
Stop it, bro. First full season we're gonna see out of him. My second one is Bucky Irvin. We already seen what he did year 1. It's only gonna get better with the weapons they added, regardless if Godwin is there.
I didn't think of Bucky. Good. That's a good one.
Something that we talked about earlier with earlier, Bro mentioned it. My third pick is Marvin Harrison. Having Will Johnson, yeah, he is a rookie, but having that type of talent to practice against, I think it's only going to make them both better. And like Drew said, putting him in the slot, that's going to give him a lot more options.
Okay, next.
My fourth one, the only defense I have is Ezra and Cooper, from the Packers. He was solid in the run game, but he's going to have to take a step up in that pass game this year with them not having Stokes or Jair. He's going to be the anchor in that front seven, and he's going to have to play in the passing game like he has before. And I think he's going to step up to that.
Okay.
My last one's a homer pick. I don't care what anybody has to say, but Braylon Allen. I don't think.
Well, let's just say Malachi Corley.
What?
No, Braylon Allen.
All
So
right.
what you saying about Hall then?
Huh?
What you saying about Hall then? If you pumping Braylon Allen?
You're gonna see. I think you're gonna see a lot of goal to go situations and third down situations for Braylon Allen more this year than what you did last year.
I thought Braylon performed tremendously last year.
They talking about so Brees Hall, you keeping him or he just going? This is running back by committee.
Running back by committee.
Whoa, Curbs. Whoa.
All right, Wes, who you taking? Are you taking anyone off the list? Or you're keeping it.
No, I like his list.
All right. Bro.
I mean, any Jet being on the list, man, is kind of diabolical if I'm being honest about the situation. It's the AFC East, and I could care less about anybody but the Bills. So any Jet players should be off the list. Just saying.
Okay, none
Okay.
but the Bills.
Yeah, bro. What do we say, bro?
You know,
Fuck the Jets. What you want me to say?
Oh man.
You said Cino?
Dino.
Oh,
Hey, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
I mean, I didn't hear you say nobody's name, man. We were still talking to Bro, so.
I didn't either.
Yeah, see.
No.
Thanks for speaking up. I like the
heard
list. I like the list, though. Man. I'm not mad at it.
Dino number 2. I mean, Bo.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Whoa. It's because my hair, isn't it, bro? It disappeared, and now y'all don't like me. It's crazy. I'm just kidding. All right, no, it's gonna be Braylon Allen, bro. Giving up on Brees Hall right now is just kind of diabolical. You give Brees Hall the rock. You
really
let
think
him
they're
see
gonna
what he
give
can
up
do.
on him? You really think?
Diabetes.
I don't. I need. That's why I'm saying Braylon Allen needs to get off of there. I don't think they give up on him. That they need to give it to him. Pause.
Hey,
Whoa.
yo.
That's a good
Hey,
two-headed
yo.
monster? You don't think that's a good two-headed monster?
Yeah, but it.
I think it could be when it's healthy. The problem
Yes,
is Brees Hall
yes.
ain't never healthy.
Flip that.
Oh, he's only been in the league 3 years, so I would say never. Been.
Drew's
Brees Hall's been in the league like 3 or 4 years.
All right, Snow.
No, keep it.
Oh, Bo, did you even give us an answer? Oh, yeah, you did bring it out. Drew, who you got?
Michael Penix.
And Kirby, who do you got?
Yo, get the layup Bucky Irving off there.
Nice.
I mean, Bucky. I know. I like the pick, but yeah, Bucky was another layup, bro.
Yeah, but okay, so taking, I think so. Maybe in context, you take over the number 1 spot, and you have a really
I
good
mean,
year.
he was the number 1 back at the end of the year. I'm pretty sure he put up like 1,200 total yards last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like 900 rushing,
yeah,
200 or
Because
receiving
White
or
got
something like
hurt.
that.
White got hurt.
And I think they start the season with him as the feature in that dual back set because that's what it is.
Yeah,
And
they're a true dual back set. I agree.
yeah.
All right, Kirby, your list.
All right, I have 3 defensive players and 2 offense. My first one is Dallas Turner. He had 20. I think he had like 14 solo tackles. Like combined with assists is like 20, and then 3 sacks last year. I think he's going to be more than a third down pass rusher this year. The other one is a guy who came out at the end of the season as my homer pick, Jalix Hunt. And then my third one will be Nate Wiggins on the Ravens. I think he's going to be a lockdown boundary corner. And then I have Blake Fisher, the tackle for the Texans.
Yeah.
And then I have Really, I have two, but I'm gonna settle with Drake May. I think he's gonna go crazy this year.
Wes.
He's gonna beat the Bills at least once this year.
I like his list.
Oh, okay.
Bro.
List, no problem.
So shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles and their Super Bowl championship. They will be dethroned this upcoming season. And just like for Mr. Jet over there, anything dealing with a fucking Patriot, I can't stand. So Drake May can kiss ass for him. How about that?
It's a hard thing to do.
Gino.
Just because it's in division, bro. I like Blake Fisher because he's a Notre Dame guy, but I gotta say, get him off of there, man. Just because he's a Houston fucking Texan. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No.
I like the list.
Who's that, Bo? My bad.
He may have said Snow, but I thought he said Bo. I don't know, but
Oh.
no, I like the list.
Mitch got bars.
Hey.
Snow and Bode and Bode and Snow. All right, Snow after Bo.
To bro.
Yes.
We already talked to Bro.
From bro to bow to snow.
Yeah.
Or you were Stino, but
Hey, yo.
Yo,
we can talk about that on another show. Sorry. Go, Snow.
Oh yeah, we can go and keep the list. Yo.
I like. Okay, so now I'm okay to go. Hey, Drew, tell us what you know.
The list is good.
I changed the list after I told you what it was.
Mm-hmm.
All
I
right, Belly.
changed mine too.
I'm gonna take Drake May off there. Like,
It's gonna be awesome when he beats the Jets twice this year. It's gonna be awesome.
that ain't happening.
I like the list. I like the list. You know, I'll give you guys my list. So you can crucify me all you want. I can care less. I'm going Keon Coleman is one. I am going Bo Nix with another one. I think he's gonna. I don't think he has a sophomore slump. Just like I don't think Jalen Daniels. He'll be another one. I think he's gonna just have another great season. I just think he's gonna take it to another level. Cooper DeJean was my one defensive player that I put on the list. I think the kid is special. He showed it last year. I just think he plays with no fear out there, and in that division, he's gonna have his hands full. I think he'll do really well. And then, lastly is my homer pick. I'm going Chase Brown. So,
Yo, tell me why I thought Mitch was gonna go Jermaine Burton. I was ready to troll his ass. I had a lock in the. Oh, I wish you would have said Jermaine Burton.
Anyway, Wes. What about people plan to attack me? That's fucking awesome.
Your list is all right. I ain't got no beef with your list.
Okay. Bro.
Chase Brown.
Okay, I didn't say Bobo. I said Bro.
I think he said Bo.
No, it's okay. Thank you, though. It's okay. We'll get to you here shortly, sir.
No.
As much as I like the player, I mean, I love Kirby even more. So Cooper DeJean definitely has to get off the list. Just saying. So just want to point that out there. Love you,
I mean, he has a
Kirby.
ring, he has a ring, but
Well, I do too. That means nothing. Anyway.
All right, Stino.
I'm gonna say only because last year was actually his second year. I'm gonna say Chase Brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Bo, I don't want you to get throw back your microphone with your little attitude. Or whatever. Who would you take off the list?
Chase Brown for the same reasons Tino just said.
Thank you. Snow, moving on.
Respect the list. Yo, we keep it straight up. I can't rap, man. I rap sandwich.
Stick to the ad libs. Stick to the ad libs.
Yeah, I brought
Uh,
this time. That's it.
who's your second person you put on the list?
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
Oh hell no!
No, I can't put Bo on there.
Having a change of heart, people.
You
I mean,
could.
wait, watch your mouth. Yeah, I mean, I might say Chase. I might go Chase.
Belly.
In the words of Jerry Kirby, we're gonna take the 4 layups off the list.
What?
Is that what you're gonna say, Kirby? Is that what, yeah.
No. I was actually going to say, let's get the man who can't beat Jalen Hurts up off that list. Jaden Daniels. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Glad to see what this turned out to be. This was fun. Anywho, again, every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll work on some other lists probably. Do you want to talk about in this upcoming fantasy league? We have set the date for the draft, which is the 24th of August. Which means season 2 of the league Wednesday night show will be coming back. So make sure you're in tune for that, because that was, yes, it was a phenomenal show. We had Jared Kirby starting off as the co-host, and he had some technical difficulties, and we Drew stepped in and was co-hosting with us all the way through. Same concept as last year. We're going to bring every team up once, maybe twice, maybe even 3 times. Doesn't matter. We're going to be talking about week to week up matchups. We do live trades on the air. About teams.
All right.
Have some fun with it. This is our league, and this is how we represent it. Which means in the upcoming weeks, we'll start getting everyone prepared for the random wheel leagues that we will be doing. I did throw a challenge out there, so I'll say it online to the guys. I was talking to a representative of the Not Moved podcast, and he had asked me if you guys want to do a fantasy, and I was like, look, we could do a 12-man league, we could do a 14-man league. I'll bring 7 from No MaaM and 7 from Not Moved. We'll play intertwined the whole season, but let's see who's the best. Is it going to be a No MaaM final? I'm a No MaaM winner. I predict yes, personally, but that's just me. I stick up for the crew. So I know I could, myself plus 6 other guys, or I could choose to be on.
Yeah, we can take that pretty easy. We can take that pretty easy.
I'm not worried about that. I'm not moved by that challenge.
Oh no.
Shut up.
We're moving them way back.
No shots fired. Shots fired at the other, at the Juicy Fruit podcasts that are out there, always buying our style. But but shout out to the real ones out there. Shout out to the supporters. Shout out to the 1,403 subscribers that we have on YouTube. That's only growing. So I want to thank everybody for your contributions. We just got to continue working hard, man. We've been grinding to this point. I like to bring this up as Jared brings it up a lot. At this time last year, we were probably sitting around 55 or 60 subs, but we put in a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and it's a lot of the greatness that sits on this panel. Bro, Stino, Drew, Curbs, Belly, Bo, Snow, Wes. It's because of you guys why we have 1,403 subscribers on YouTube, because of the dedication and the honesty and the great takes and the garbage takes that you all have. It's a combination of everything. I do appreciate everybody. But again, next stop 2K, stop after that 5K, and infinity and beyond. So we gotta keep it pushing. So I want to make sure that we have we get to our plateau. Again, I'd like to shout out to my son, I'm very proud of you. You had a great tournament. I'm it was a great stepping stone for what Florida is going to bring. Shout out to his whole team. Shout out to shout out to the world. Shout out to everyone that supports. Shout out to the haters. We could care less, but thank you for being the losers that you are. Shout out to my man Lavishly Tough. Appreciate you, man. Welcome home. Can't wait to start doing some collaboration with you. From a design and a podcasting perspective. Love to have you come up here, talk about your team. But yeah, we got it going. We're in the mix. Shout out to Kelly as always, queen of the chat. Thank you for doing what you do. Shout out to the guys that aren't here tonight. Jared is breaking his phone as we're talking. Shout out to Reed. Shout out to Stitch. Shout out to everyone, in the No MaaM Nation. Everyone check on Alone. He was crying yesterday with this Minka Fitzpatrick thing. So
he's good. He's good. I can promise you, he's good. He's good.
Shout out to the whole family, man. Shout out to Raven. Shout out to Bunny. Shout out to my man Burrito. Shout out to the whole squad. Just everyone that represents No MaaM truly does. Not the Fugazis.
Hey man, shout out the Indiana Fever winning the Commissioner's Cup over the Minnesota Lynx tonight too, man.
What was that tonight? Okay.
Yeah.
Without Caitlin Clark.
All I'm saying is wait until Paige Beckers gets her footing. It's over for Caitlin Clark.
Shout out to my girl Sophie Cunningham, though, man.
Aaliyah Boston.
Yeah, man. Shout out Sophie, man.
I like Sophie.
Sophie nice.
She's a fighter. Yeah.
Making owners and presidents happy around the world.
And DC is
bro.
Hit him with it.
Curve.
So good, man.
One day, bro. One day. Okay. So again, I'll just remind everybody since the season's about to start. The beginning of the season last year, probably around this time, Jake Herbst threatened everybody. He said, "If my team wins the Super Bowl, I'm going to be a jackass the entire year," and he's lived up to that. And then
threaten is a very strong word.
No, it was
a strong word.
Stronger words, but I decided to go with
style.
I warned you. I warned you. I didn't threaten. I just warned.
Warned. It's crazy.
I said, "Hey, don't let the Birds win the Super Bowl." That's all I said. And now we got that ring, baby.
The Pigeons got it. Happy this year.
Hey, Drew, can I? Drew, I got a question. Ring check, quick.
No,
ring check?
No, you don't. Hall of Fame check?
How many Lombardis you got?
Hall of Fame check? Hall of Fame check? Oh well, technically, since the NFL is merging the NFL championships
don't
with
Lions,
no, listen, I can listen. Hold on. First of all, Jared, please don't ever in your life associate Chicago with poverty again.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying that's a Detroit Lion argument.
No, it's
right
not.
there.
No, it's not. Even still, I mean, it's still more cardboard and brown paper in a Detroit Lions trophy case.
And you know what, Drew, I'm going to name drop here even because that was Chicken Nugget King's argument all football season long.
That's crazy. He's disgusting.
Chicken Nugget King?
Chicken Nugget King. Drew, you remember that fool?
Oh my God. Another, Detroit Lion TikToker that, popped up when they were 10-1 and then just magically disappeared like Lucky Charms.
You didn't see him after the divisional round. He vanished.
Well,
he vanished after halftime.
We are going to see what happens this year when the season is played. If Jared's still talking shit or is he crying? One of the two. We'll see.
Jared's still gonna be talking shit.
I'm still gonna be talking shit.
He's still gonna be talking.
But yes, I do look forward to our upcoming draft for the Fantasy Football League. We've got a lot of fantasy to talk about here upcoming in the next few weeks as these guys report to camp. And some that do and some that don't. We'll see what happens. We've still got guys that are still in the contract dispute, such as Trey Hendrickson, TJ Watt. But we'll see what happens. So, as always, from our family to yours, we appreciate y'all. Drew, take us out.
DC is trash.
DC clears.